Then he got into a Camaro that pulled up and left the scene. Today, the judge sentenced him to a total of 2 years plus 60 days in prison, but she suspended all of it except for 90 days. She told.
So, Gervonta "Tank" Davis? Yeah, the knockout king himself just turned the Miami airport into a combat zone. And guess what? After sucker punching none other than Jake Paul, Tank ended up in court, where he collapsed right after hearing his sentence. It's got drama, suspense, and everything in between.
Gervonta Davis just posted that he would beat the brakes off of you if you guys fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super, super down. I don't know if
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Is there a height limit in boxing?
Let's dive deep into this insane saga that's got the entire fight world buzzing. Picture this: Miami International Airport, usually all sunshine, tourists, and overpriced snacks. Not a spot for random boxing fights. But that's exactly what went down.
Your fight. Since you lost, what's up, Jake? Where you going, Jake? Oh, he's running! He's running! Look at him!
Witnesses say it was pure chaos. Gervonta Davis, hoodie on in that intense glare, locked eyes with Jake Paul near baggage claim. Jake was there, confident and surrounded by his crew, probably not expecting a fight to break out right there. But with Tank, anything can happen. Eyewitnesses couldn't believe it. One moment, Tank stood there silent but tense, and the next, a sharp right hook connected squarely with Jake's jaw. People screamed, phones went flying, and Jake stumbled like he'd been hit by a freight train. Security guards had to rush in to stop this mess. Now, everyone's asking, why? Why would Gervonta Davis risk it all to punch Jake Paul in an airport? Let's rewind.
Here's the beef between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is an amazing boxer who is trained by Floyd Mayweather and has a great record. Jake Paul recently put Gervonta Davis on his hit list and saying he wants to box him soon. Gervonta Davis responded saying, "Jake Paul better leave me alone." Jake Paul responded trolling him and posting this picture calling Gervonta short. He then followed that up by this tweet saying Gervonta is not tall enough to ride the amusement park rides. And lastly, Jake uploaded this tweet of Gervonta jumping into a kiddie pool. It doesn't seem like Gervonta responded to Jake after all this trolling, but the beef is there and I wonder if they will ever fight. Y'all let me know in the comments who you think would win, Gervonta or Jake.
The beef between these two has been simmering for months. Jake's been poking at Tank on social media, clowning him, calling him Floyd's son, and even hinting that he's washed. Tank already dealing with legal drama, and the weight of his own controversies must have felt cornered.
Oh, Lord. I'm sorry. I'm just in a silly, goofy mood.
It's no secret that Tank's got a short fuse, and Jake's been pressing every button he could find. But even so, no one expected Tank to go full knockout.
Hey, the little one inside.
You don't gotta ask me, Rob.
Well, we need to make sure she's with somebody.
She's okay. She's with somebody.
Okay, listen, I get you that you're upset, but we can't just say.
Tight.
What's your first name? What's your first name? We can't just say that she's just with somebody. We have a duty to make sure that she's with the right people.
Security detained Tank on the spot. He was escorted out of the airport in cuffs, and the footage spread like wildfire. By the time he hit the courtroom, the story was already viral. ESPN, TMZ, DAZN, every outlet was talking about it. And let's be real.
Well, within the last hour, we have learned that Baltimore boxer Gervonta Davis will not spend any time behind bars related to a crash downtown.
So Nikki Zizalza joins us now with some new information about that. Nikki. Well, Vic and Denise, a judge sentenced the world champion to 90 days of home detention that must be served in Baltimore, plus 3 years probation for his role in a hit-and-run car accident. Well, back in November of 2020, Davis was at a downtown Baltimore restaurant and left in a 2020 Lamborghini heading toward the Four Seasons Hotel. He had a police escort. However, he turned away from the police escort, and in this video obtained by WJZ, you see he ran a red light at Martin Luther King in Washington.
Tank's got a history with the law. From that hit-and-run case to accusations of domestic violence, his rap sheet reads like a cautionary tale. This latest assault just piled on the problems.
A well-known boxer accused of domestic violence has bonded out of jail. Gervonta Davis walked out earlier today. That's after a judge gave him a $1,000 bond. Davis was scheduled to headline a boxing match next week in Washington, D.C. It's unknown if that's going to happen.
Fans were divided, some defending him, others calling him reckless. They believe Tank has the Napoleon syndrome. Fast forward to the courthouse. The judge didn't hold back. Tank was hit with a $500,000 fine, 2 years of probation, 200 hours of community service, and worst of all, a 6-month suspension from boxing. The judge said, "Mr. Davis, you are a role model to millions. This behavior is unacceptable." You could see Tank's jaw tighten.
We're going to Gervonta Davis.
And, Your Honor, Mr. Hassett and I, assuming the court finds probable cause, we have an agreement.
Good morning, Judge Kenneth Hassett on behalf of
Gervonta Davis. Mr. Hassett, we finally got you up here.
Yes, Judge. Thank you very much.
No problem. Court finds probable cause.
And Your Honor, we agreed to a $1,000 bond, no victim contact, if that's acceptable for the court.
Okay, $1,000 bond, no contact. Have a good day.
Happy holidays, Judge. Good to see you.
Thank you.
The weight of the sentence hit him like a body shot. But here's where it gets insane. As the judge finished reading the sentence, Tank's knees buckled. He reached out for the defense table, but it was too late. His eyes rolled back and he hit the floor hard. Some thought he was faking it, others feared a health scare. EMTs rushed in, checked his pulse, and eventually got him onto a stretcher.
Tank, what happened? Why are you in a wheelchair?
Shit happen all the time. Should be happening.
Hey, Mark.
I'm all right.
Wait,
No,
hey,
no.
We got that fight coming up.
You gotta beat it, bro. We got that fight coming up. Hey,
He's talking to me, dog.
You gotta beat it, bro.
Bro, Tank's talking to me.
No, he ain't talking to you.
He's talking to me right now, dog. Champ's talking.
Tank's team released a statement that sounded like damage control. Gervonta deeply regrets his actions and is committed to making things right. He understands the severity of the situation.
Mr. Davis, what's your reaction to the sentence? What's your reaction to the sentence? Can we get your reaction to the sentence? About the sentence?
We don't have any comment.
No comment. Can you give us your reaction to the sentence the judge just handed down?
Well, we're not exactly satisfied with a sentence of 90 days home detention. We believe that based on the severity of this incident, it doesn't seem to be much of a...
And will comply fully with the court's orders. Fans weren't sure if they bought it. Some said Tank's a good dude at heart who got pushed too far, while others think he's spiraling out of control. And it makes sense because Tank himself said he wants to pull back.
That's why I don't want to box no more. I want to do therapy, right? But I feel as though if I do therapy, it will lose the fire that I have inside me. I want everything out of me, West, so I don't never think about fighting again. I don't think about even getting angry, you know what I mean? Because I have 2 girls, 2 daughters. I'm wanting to be much softer, you know what I mean? Be more humble and things like that.
From boxing, as he's got zero control over his aggression. A 6-month suspension might not seem like forever, but in boxing, that's enough to lose momentum. Tank had big fights lined up, such as the rematch with Lamont Roach.
Clearly in there, man. I thought I won. I thought I did enough to get the victory over a spectacular fighter. I told y'all from the beginning, man, that I got the skills to pay the bills. I've been telling y'all that. And I'm just glad I got to show it, honestly. I'm glad I got to show it. I appreciate, like I said before, I appreciate True Boxing Media. Some guys that didn't count me out. So that's just how I feel, man. I think I won. And, I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait to dance again.
Roach is the only...
Who were you going to call out? What was the plan originally?
I think he was here. He came in my locker room.
Shakur Stevenson?
He wasn't in my locker room.
Jake Paul?
Next question.
The guy who gave Tank major problems in the ring. Tank needs to run that one back because he did not look good in the first fight. Roach, on the other hand, looks sharp, locked in, and ready to win. However, there was another fight, Tank Davis versus Jake Paul. And let's just say it has gotten much bigger after the airport incident. It's personal now for both guys.
After Canelo, obviously, didn't materialize, was the next one Tank?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was on the 1 yard line as well, but he has to rematch, Lamont Roach. He wants to get that back. And then we'll be back in discussions with Mr. Gervonta. But, man, this is the nature of boxing. You have massive fights on the 1 yard line and things just fall through.
As you're watching it, he was a gigantic favorite, and this is on the heels of the Canelo thing. Are you like, what the fuck is going on here?
I don't know, though, because I never really thought Tank was that good. It would just take the right fighter to pick him apart, to be honest. Someone who had high activity and wasn't afraid of his power. So I always saw so many holes in his game. So to me, it wasn't that surprising that someone finally gave him some good work.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195.
Oh, wow. So he would go all the way from 40 to 95?
Yeah, I mean, it would be an exhibition.
Okay. And so what does that mean? Is that 3-minute rounds?
Yeah, 10 3-minute rounds.
And when you say exhibition, what are the restrictions on that?
No restrictions, just the fact that we couldn't actually get it professionally sanctioned.
Okay. Is that still of interest to you? If he wins the rematch and you beat Julio, is that of great interest to you later this year?
For sure.
Let's talk about this fight because this isn't your usual boxing bout. Jake Paul revealed the rules for this fight, and let's just say they sound like something cooked up in a Discord server at 3 a.m. First off, the weight. Jake says that he's going to fight at 195 pounds. 195.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195. It would be an exhibition.
Okay, so it was going to be an exhibition, not sanctioned, but no restrictions. You can knock each other out and shit like that. It was going to be at a catch weight of 195 pounds, 10 rounds, 3 minutes. I've been trying to figure this out. Why was I a Tank hater for wanting to see Tank go up 5 pounds to get some smoke with Teofimo Lopez or something? I just wanted to see him go up 5 pounds and fight Teofimo Lopez. And all of you are saying, you want Tank hurt, Showbiz. You a hater. You want him hurt. Then I'm convinced, okay, he's too small, but he can fight Jake at 195?
Whereas Tank fights at 135, that's 6 weight classes up. That's like sending a lion to fight a hippo and calling it fair. Tank's never even touched 140 successfully, and now you're telling me he's going to fight a guy walking.
Tank was looking past Roach, and he wanted that Jake Paul fight, which I think Jake Paul would have beaten. Jake is way too big. Tank is 5'5", 135, soaking wet. Y'all think Tank is too small for 140. He ain't beating no heavyweight. I'm not joking. I don't think he would have hurt Jake. He would have to jump up to reach. I don't think he would have hurt him. I tell you this, it would have gone the distance, and people would have been laughing their asses off, and it wouldn't have been good for Tank's brand. I tell you that. That fight would have went the distance. Soon as 5'5" Tank is looking at a 6'2", 6'3" Jake Paul, y'all would be like, hold, wait a second. And Jake Paul be on spread out paws with that arm out and stepping back, and bro, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. But that's a cat, fine. We'll never get to fight anyway, so we'll never know.
Walking around at heavyweight? And it doesn't stop there. It's an exhibition, but with no restrictions. No headgear, no judges, no scoring. But full power, full knockouts allowed.
Yeah, no, we're working on it behind the scenes to make that happen, and obviously that's a fight where the fans are going to win, and it's going to be the biggest event of the year. What weight would you fight him at? We're working on it, but it'd be an exhibition most likely.
Basically, an exhibition where you can legally end someone's night. Let's keep it real. This fight makes absolutely zero sense for Tank career-wise. All right, picture this. Tank comes back from his 6-month suspension, smashes the rematch against Lamont Roach, and goes full invincible Tank mode, no doubts, all dominance. You'd think the next move is calling out Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney, right? Nope. Instead, he's out here hunting a Netflix showdown with a YouTuber.
Who were you going to call out? What was the plan originally?
I think he was here. He came in my locker room.
Shakur Stevenson?
He wasn't in my locker room.
Jake Paul?
Next question.
How does that even add up? Now, flip the script. Imagine Tank loses to Roach. That's 2 straight L's against a guy who nearly had him the first time if that knockdown had counted.
Oh, and that right, but Davis took off some of the steam of the punch, but still, Roach leaned with right. He took a knee. He took a knee. What is he doing?
He forgot his...
It's got to be a knockdown. What in the world is happening?
Took a knee. He's got to count.
I understand. You take a knee like that looks like a knockdown. All right? Back up. Back up.
If Tank falls again in the rematch, the hype around a Jake Paul fight? Totally dead. Who's going to tune in to watch a guy who just got handled by Lamont Roach?
Didn't say you got your eye on Tank. What do you think about the rumors of Tank and Jake fight?
Man, Tank disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that. He called cap on it. So if you gonna call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it.
Take on Jake Paul. It'll look like a desperation move, like a cash out.
What do you think of former athletes and celebrities like Jake Paul taking up boxing? You think that grows the sport?
If he's doing it for the right reason, actually want to do it because of just like actually want to box, it's cool. But if he's doing it for like the wrong reason, just to get the hype and stuff like that, I feel as though it's trash. Sometimes people get bored at what they doing, and they want to try other stuff. Got to be mentally tough to be able to box. So that's why I don't take that away from some fighters or some people that want to jump into the sport. So just show how tough you are. That's how it should be.
For sure. That's all I got. Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Like a guy who doesn't want to fight real boxers anymore. And honestly, that's what a lot of people are already saying. Look at the signs. Tank keeps having issues with the law. He has been talking about retirement. He said boxing is boring.
Are you retiring?
What trash? What changed? What made this shit trash, garbage?
If you got the opportunity to sign a prospect for GTD, who will be?
Gervonta, something should have happened during this time, because when I saw you at the Frank Martin press conference, it looked like you were like talks about retirement was not even discussed at this moment, and now it's something you keep on repeating. Is it just because obviously what you've done through boxing since you were a kid and everything?
Fed up with
Can you give us where's Calvin Ford? Is Calvin Ford or Leonard Edelby? Usually they're around to.
You think you might regain the love for it though? You never know. Like like say you got a spark today.
And he's been caught smoking during camp. Yep, the same camp for Lamont Roach fight. Not surprised why Tank almost lost. He literally cut ties with Calvin Ford, the one coach who had his back.
Something is definitely going on between Calvin Ford and Gervonta Davis. Now, we all seen that knockdown in the 9th round, but what you probably didn't see is what happened after that in between rounds. Check this out. Coach Barry Hunter trained Tank for this fight with Lamont Roach, not Calvin Ford. A lot of people were saying that this performance has something to do with that. So, is something really going on between Calvin Ford and Tank Davis? Check out what Tank had to say.
No, I wasn't really paying attention to the crowd. You know what I mean? I was more so. It's something we gotta work on in the corner, for sure.
Since day one, everything Tank's doing right now screams, I'm over this sport. So if you're wondering why he's taking this Jake Paul fight, it's simple. Money. Tank's not chasing belts anymore. He's chasing millions. And Jake Paul, for all the trash talk, brings in views.
Is it true that you made $170 million from this fight?
I made a lot of money, the most money I've made ever.
60 million households, Jake.
250 million people.
Bro, that is so
It's all downhill from here.
No, for sure.
I peaked.
Clicks, hype, and most importantly, paychecks. Just like Floyd Mayweather flipped the game, turning boxing into a full-on business empire, Tank's following that blueprint. Floyd wasn't just about fights. He was about building brands, creating massive paydays, and making every fight a cash grab.
Crazy that everybody keep asking me, why you not coming back to fight? Why you not coming back to fight? So I look at the fight game. I said, okay. I said, you know, fighters fighting, they make 3 million, 4 million, 6 million, 7 million. Some may make 10 or 20 million. But I'm doing exhibitions and I'm making 20, 25 million, 100 million for exhibitions. So why would I come back and fight and get a guaranteed 35 million when I'm doing exhibitions and getting 100 million?
Now Tank stepping into that same arena, chasing big bucks over legacy, knowing the hype around Jake Paul can rake in a whole new audience and fat stacks. It's all about the bag, and Tank's making it.
So with age, I grew, got wisdom, got more savvy, and understood the business part. And once I said, I'm no longer going to be just an athlete. I'm going to be a businessman. See, a lot of the fighters right now in boxing, they're just fighters.
Right.
I'm a businessman. So right now, I'm retired. But you got guys like Warren Buffett that's in his 80s or 90s that can still make a ton of money.
Clear he's ready to play the game Floyd perfected. So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.